Government House, home of the 39th Governor of New South Wales, Her Excellency, the Honourable Margaret Beazley and Mr. Dennis Wilson. Surrounded by lush green gardens and glorious views of Sydney, from the bridge in the Opera House to the harbour itself and the Royal Botanic Gardens. But it's through the porte cochere and behind the large cedar front doors that you notice the real beauty of the house and the history within. G'day guys, and welcome to episode 3 of a tour guide's tour of Australia, the rise and fall of Premier Jack Lang. I'm your host and your tour guide, Jack Clarkson, and this is my first multi-part episode, which I actually didn't think I'd be doing this early on in the series, but here we are, and we have a hell of a story for you today from an extremely passionate guide. Now, I couldn't condense this down to just one 40-minute episode, so if you're only interested in the story, then you can skip through to part 2 of the series and get stuck into the story of Jack Lang. But if you're here for the full ride, then stick around. You're in for a doozy. Today's tour takes us on a stroll through the Royal Botanic Gardens, where nestled in its heart and rising through the trees stands the incredible castle known as Government House, New South Wales. A gorgeous building of sandstone and red cedar, with a backdrop that people from all around Sydney, all around Australia, would pay millions and millions for. Here resides the Honourable Margaret Beazley and Mr. Dennis Wilson. This is a place where kings and queens and others of great respect have paced through the halls, dined on exquisite food, and basked in the sun amongst the roses in the courtyard. This is a place where the public are free to roam the grounds, to gaze upon the Gothic design, and where my next guest, a good friend of mine, leads groups through the incredible halls and galleries. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Matthew Lange. Say good day, Matt.
Hello.
All right, now, Matt is an old friend of mine, worked at Bridge Climb with him, and he's had quite a nice career on his hands as a tour guide. So before we get into what you've done as a tour guide, tell us a bit about yourself. What are you doing in your spare time? Who are you? And
so once again, my name is Matthew Lange. I'm a guide at Government House, Sydney. So I was a former climb leader. That's how I met you.
Yep.
I always call you Jackal. Maybe explain what that means. But anyway.
I'll tell him now. So
okay.
Jesse, in my previous episode, called me Jackal. We get given code names, and they have to do with our names. Jack Clarkson, with all the letters. I won't say the letters on this. They splice it up to JKL as my initial. And from day one, when you say it real quick, comes down to Jackal.
Yeah.
So then I was called Jackal, and then the Jackal from there on out. So everyone over calls me the Jackal.
Yeah, it's good because I affectionately always refer to the Jackal.
Yes.
It sounds like a cool bush.
It sounds
name.
ferocious as well.
Yeah.
Sounds
Exactly.
dominating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, mine was definitely interesting because when I first heard it, it sounded a bit of like a derogative term.
Yeah.
But Mog.
Mog.
So you probably have heard that in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Being brought up. But yeah, so M-O-G, emoji. So I just...
The Mog dog. And Mog's sat with you for a long time. That's how I know you.
Yeah.
I describe you as Mog to people, and people are like,
Absolutely.
who the hell's Mog? I'm like, Mog, you'll know him. You know Mog. So you worked at Bridge Climb, and where do you work now?
So I've jumped around a little bit since Bridge Climb. So I've worked at Parliament House, New South Wales, and then also Government House, New South Wales.
Government House.
2 different places, which a lot of people are confused.
Which I never knew about.
Well, there you
Yes, when I've done 2 of your tours now, I never got the trifecta.
Yeah.
Never got to do your one at Bridge Climb. Maybe we had some tails and leads at some point, but I can't quite remember. But I had the pleasure of doing one of yours at Parliament House. This was about a year ago. Now, just after you left Bridge Climb, I was at Government House and speaking to some of your colleagues and said, oh, yeah, I know Matt. Tours are obviously free there. And they said, oh, well, Matt works at Parliament. Let's send him a text. So I did the tour.
Yeah.
Can't remember who I did the tour with. And they said, yeah, Matt wants you, so go down the street. So I was like, yeah, righto. Go down the street, and then I saw you. Took me through.
It might have even been Rebecca because she
Could have been Rebecca.
Yeah, the one who sent me the message. And
Yeah.
no, do you know a guy called Jack?
Actually, it might have been Freya.
Freya?
Oh, I
Oh,
saw her last time.
yeah, nice. Oh, that's why she remembered you.
That's why she remembered me. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so it was nice that you came up because then I got to show you all the back end areas and all the cool parts of Parliament, but also just the fact that it's the first ever Parliament of Australia.
Yeah.
Like that birthplace. as the late Queen referred to it as the Mother Parliament.
The Mother Parliament.
Mother Parliament to start them all. But yeah, it was a real cool opportunity to work there and kind of get that massive sort of repertoire of guiding experiences. But yeah, I think my bread and butter now is definitely working at Government House.
Yeah.
So Parliament is where all the members that we elect every 4 years in New South Wales to meet and debate. But down the road, there's a castellated building called Government House, and that is the official residence of the Governor of New South Wales. So if you're unaware, Australia is still part of a constitutional monarchy, which dates back to the first colonisation in 1788, which was His Majesty King George the Third.
King Charles now.
King Charles now, that's right. So yeah, with George III, it just continued on there.
Yeah.
So all his descendants and heirs, but they live in the UK. So how do they govern down here? Well, they send one of their representatives, and they need a place to live, and so that's where.
That's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So we'll get to Government House in a second. In which order did you start working for these places? Who did you work through first out of all three of these?
Easy. So it was Bridge Climb first. I started in 2017. It was interesting because I never actually worked in tourism before. So no real experience with touring. That's a bit of a lie. I did do a tour course in 2014, but that being a bit rusty at that point. It's been a few years until I started using it. But yeah, it was interesting because I kind of fell into the role. For years after doing the tour course, my parents were helping me look around, finding different things to do in regards to touring. Applied for Bridge Climb a few times, I think one in 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Let it lie a little bit, but then eventually in 2017, I
landed the job.
Gunned it. Yeah.
There you go.
It was a very interesting experience. I don't know how much time I want to spend on it, but
do you spend as much time as you do? Yes, this is your floor.
Cool. I might even double back a bit and actually just talk about what I was doing prior to getting into Bridge Climb, just to kind of get the mindset.
Yeah, you can even go back further because you're from Darwin, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
So we can even go way back to what even brought you down this way.
Sure. That one's very simple. It wasn't my choice, but in a great way, it wasn't my choice.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was about 8 years old when we came from Darwin down to Sydney, and it was actually for my dad's career move. So, ironically, don't really think about how it connects to me too much, but it obviously naturally did. But my parents work in tourism.
Oh, okay.
They don't anymore too much. But yeah, definitely in those early years for me, they were in so either the federal level or the territory/state level. So my dad was the territory/state. So working for Tourism NT, which after he left did a very interesting ad with him in the NT. Yep. I don't know if that ever would have gotten past him when he was there, but we'll come up with it. But yeah, so he came down to Destination New South Wales, which was then called Tourism New South Wales, like everyone else.
Yeah.
So he then worked the ranks there. My mum was working as Tourism Australia, so that brought us down to Sydney for more opportunities down here.
Right.
Started schooling down here. The one thing I always remember moving from the tropics down to the humid Sydney area was actually wearing the weirdest experience at that time was 2 layers of clothing.
Yeah, right.
Wearing a jumper was the weirdest.
It was the worst.
Yeah, also wearing
weirdest, and because it's obviously in Darwin so hot.
Yeah, absolutely. So tropical and beautiful.
Yes.
Like the sunsets you can't match. I think. If you ever get up to Darwin, it's. Have you ever been to Darwin?
Never been to Darwin. It's on my list. I would love to get to Darwin
100%.
one day.
If you ever been to Cairns, it's kind of like that. But Darwin's definitely. It has a lot of the beaches face west.
Yep.
So the sunsets face into the Indian Ocean or Indonesia there. Oh, it just, it still sends me shivers. I'm getting it right now.
I've never seen a sunset on the western side of something.
Yeah.
Never seen. I don't care.
So
West
not even
Australia.
Perth?
Not even Perth. Not even. I lived in the UK for a bit. Not even a sunset on the west there.
They don't have sunsets.
They
don't have sunrises. They just have no sun.
It's just cloud. Cloud and rain is all it is over in the UK. See, I've got the opposite thing when I moved to Sydney. So obviously coming from the Southern Highlands, it's a colder climate. So playing sport all my life in sleet and cold rain, get the winds from the mountains coming down. So when I came here, you'd see me walking around. So I did your tour on Saturday past. I walk around in singlets and shorts.
Yeah.
You need nothing else. To me, Sydney's so humid and I sweat so much here. Too much information for everyone listening. But everyone here is wearing the big puffy jackets and the scarves and stuff. I'm like, how the hell can you be wearing so many layers? It's not even cold for me.
Yeah.
So they'll go, aren't you bloody cold up here? It's drizzling this morning. And I was like, it's It's fine. It's cool. This is like a nice, beautiful autumn day for me. Well, it is autumn. Beautiful winter's day for me. But yeah, so I can kind of get that comparison, but obviously coming from NT down here, you'd be rugging up.
But yeah, in a way in winter, but then in summer it's like, oh, now we're back.
No, back to
It's so humid still.
summertime. Would it feel like an autumn or winter for you?
We didn't, that was another thing. Didn't even know what that was.
Oh,
We
really?
only had 2 seasons.
2 seasons is
Wet
when
and dry.
That's it.
So when we came down here and I was in school, they were talking about autumn. That's a weird word. Never heard that before. Or winter, summer, all that crap. I was like, I don't know.
Is it hot, cold? Is it wet or dry?
Exactly. And I even got confused between, so dry season up there is like our autumn, winter era.
Yep.
And then I thinking summer would be desert and hot, but it's the opposite. It's tropical.
Yeah.
It's hot. That's where cyclones come through and all that wonderful stuff.
That's where the wet season comes into it.
Yeah, that's right. So for me, I always thought wet was actually cool because there would be the mango fever, the build up before the break into the wet season. So it's cooling down, but it's the opposite. So it's interesting. Yeah.
So parents worked in tourism.
Yes.
Down here.
Down here, and then I did finish my schooling. But then leaving schooling, my career path, or what I wanted to do, was actually go into the field of biology, sort of doing captive animals. So not so much into safaris or something like that, but definitely zoos.
Zoos, yeah.
So my main trajectory was to try and work at a zoo. So I did some work experience around Sydney and stuff, but then eventually got a job at Taronga Zoo, which was pretty
nice.
damn cool. So getting familiar with catching the ferries across the old Norfolk and stuff like that, or Northcote, I think it was.
Where were you living at this time?
So we were living at so in between Parramatta and actually Sydney. So a little place called Concord.
Yep.
Gets its name from the Revolutionary War that we never fought.
Okay.
Actually, soldiers came out here and had PTSD. So they actually had memories of the Battle of Concord.
Yeah.
Or Concord. And then they renamed the area Concord.
Yeah,
so
cool.
That's where I was living and growing up around that area. So I'd catch the ferry in, just like Jesse, get to experience a few of the Sydney Olympic medalists and stuff like that. But then, catch the ferry over from Circular Quay to Taronga Zoo. I think the coolest experience would be that Taronga Zoo has this historical gate on the top. So at the top of the hill, it's basically on the side of a cliff is where they put the zoo all those years ago in 1916. But to actually start your work, everything's situated at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
So when you come off the ferry, you're at the base of the cliff.
Yes.
So you can either walk through the zoo, which is not open at that point, or you could walk up a really long, snaky driveway, or, which is really cool for employees, catch a gondola.
Which there's now public access.
That's
for
right.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a thing. So I was very privileged at that time. But then they thought that was very logical to
Yes.
have to keep it running. I got to ride the Sky Safari, I think they called it.
Right.
All the way to the top and get to work. That was really cool. Look at the city behind me.
Oh.
Look at that glorious bridge in the background.
Well, you've got the views of the water, everything around you, and then the views from the sky.
That's right.
And then what's down below with the animals.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're all these exotic ones because, like, I'd imagine the rest of the world looks at Australian.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at the giraffe.
Yeah. There's not meant to be here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always really cool. So I did that for about a year and then kind of needed something more substantial as it was a sort of casual role. So I needed an actual full-time job. So my partner at the time, she got me a job doing food packing, stuff like that around North Beach areas of Sydney. And so did that for a year. And then after that, again, kind of needed a more substantial job. So kind of jumped around and found a thing called Meter Reader.
Meter Reader.
I thought that was really cool. So it's actually, instead of being what do they call, a meter nurse.
Meter maids. They had Gold Coast with tight golden bikinis. You were.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. back then. No, so it's not actually to do with the car parking or anything. It's actually the meters of electricity. So how much usage you have and what you do. Yeah. So I did that for a year, working around for Ausgrid, reading meters and charging people bills and stuff. So that kept me fit, which was really, really cool.
Working on that one.
Oh, yeah. And all weather conditions as well. Yeah. So I was trained for my next little bit of things in my career a little bit later, which was quite cool because everyone else that I started at Bridge Climb with hadn't really worked in all weather conditions, but I definitely had
that experience.